My 7-year-old daughter came home with a bruised cheek and trembling hands, whispering that her principal had struck her for dropping a milk carton. That principal, Margaret Reynolds, didn't know I was the deputy police chief. By the next school bell, I had her face pressed against a locker, dragged her through the halls, and handed her over in cuffs. You want to talk about discipline, Margaret? Let me show you what justice tastes like. It was a gray Tuesday in Maplewood, a quiet suburb outside Columbus, Ohio, when my phone buzzed at 2:53 p.m. I was at the precinct, buried in reports about a string of car thefts. The caller ID read Willow Creek Elementary. My stomach twisted. My daughter, Lily, was supposed to be in art class, painting sunflowers, not triggering calls during my shift. Since my wife passed in a hit-and-run 3 years ago, Lily's been my anchor. I answered, voice tight. Deputy Chief Thompson. The school nurse, Mrs. Alvarez, stammered, It's Lily. She's hurt. Please come now. I didn't ask twice. Badge in pocket. I tore out, siren blaring, running stop signs as my pulse hammered. Someone touched my little girl. The school lot was calm, parents chatting as kids spilled out. I stormed past them, shoving through the front doors. In the nurse's office, Lily sat on a cot, her cheeks swollen, a purple handprint blooming across it. Her unicorn t-shirt was ripped, her backpack dumped on the floor. She saw me, whispered Daddy, and crumpled into my arms, shaking. My chest burned. I brushed her hair back, exposing the bruise. Then came the voice that turned my blood cold. Quite the entrance, Deputy Chief. Margaret Reynolds stood in the doorway, arms crossed, her silver bob immaculate, a gold brooch gleaming on her blazer. She didn't look at Lily. Thank you for coming, she said, like she'd called about a tardy slip. I set Lily behind me. You hit my daughter. My voice was low, deliberate. Margaret's brow arched. Excuse me. She's 7, terrified, bruised. Unless someone else here hates first graders, it was you. She stepped forward, unfazed. Lily was disruptive, threw milk in the cafeteria, then had a tantrum. I maintained order. I leaned closer. She's 7, weighs 45 pounds, and lost her mom. Now she's bruised because you wanted a spotless school. Margaret didn't blink. She screamed, defied me. I escorted her to my office, raised my voice, restrained her when she got erratic. Lily tugged my sleeve, whispering. She said kids like me don't belong here. I froze. What? Lily's voice cracked. She said kids from broken homes mess up nice schools. The room spun. I turned to Mrs. Alvarez, who looked pale. There are cameras in the cafeteria and office, right? She nodded. They were on. I glared at Margaret. You'll explain this to Internal Affairs. Kneeling by Lily, I said, Tell me everything. Her story spilled out. A spilled milk carton, Margaret's screams, a yank to a dark office corner, a slap that stung. Margaret's smug mask cracked just a fraction. She hadn't just crossed a Lanesh picked the wrong father. Lily's voice broke as she described standing in that corner, Margaret yelling she'd give her something to cry about. The handprint on her cheek wasn't discipline, it was cruelty. I stood, fists clenched. Margaret snapped, Don't dramatize. I roared, Shut up. She flinched, and used to defiance in her fiefdom. You didn't discipline her. You assaulted her. Spotting her signature red whistle on her belta petty tyrant's scepter, I ripped it off, looped it around her wrist, and twisted. She gasped. You're out of line. No. I growled. I'm done with lines. I dragged her into the hall, the whistle cord biting her skin. Teachers froze. Kids gaped. This woman hit a 7-year-old. I shouted. Margaret thrashed. You're assaulting me. No, Margaret. This is justice without your rulebook. In the cafeteria, I pointed to a milk puddle. That's what you punished Lily for. I shoved her forward. Kneel. Smell it. Cry over it. She collapsed, gasping. I leaned down. You teach fear? Let me show you terror. I called dispatch. Deputy Chief Thompson, Willow Creek Elementary. Send 2 units. Suspect in custody for child abuse. Margaret whimpered, mascara streaking. I hissed. Pray bruises fade faster than shame. We reached the janitor's closet, its steel sink gleaming. Margaret screamed, Stop. I cranked the faucet, ice water roaring out. Grabbing her neck, I plunged her face into the spray. Her kicks were frantic. I counted to 3, then yanked her up. She sputtered, soaked, her brooch dull. Still feel like a queen? I asked. You're a monster, she shrieked. No, I'm a father. You don't slap kids and stroll away. Officers Bennett and Ruiz arrived, eyes wide. I nodded to Lily, peeking from the nurse's side. She assaulted my daughter. Videos pending. Injuries confirmed. Bennett cuffed Margaret. You're under arrest for felony child abuse. She wailed, I'm the principal. I stepped close. Not anymore. The cuffs clicked louder than the dismissal bell. Margaret's soaked blazer clung to her as Bennett hauled her up. This is abuse of power, she screamed. No, I muttered. You abused power the second you touched a child. Lily watched, not scared now, but steady. She won't hurt anyone else, right? I knelt. Not unless Sinks fight back. The footage came an hour later. The superintendent, Mr. Hayes, arrived, face grim, carrying a laptop. Cafeteria and office videos, he said. The cafeteria clip showed Lily, alone, flinching at the bell, spilling milk. Margaret stormed in, yanking her off the bench, her feet dangling. Kids gasped. The office video was worse. Margaret shoving Lily into a corner, shaking her, then slapping her hard. My fists tightened. Mrs. Alvarez whispered. She targeted others' orphans, special needs kids. Hayes nodded. Older footage shows it. She's been cruel for years, threatening kids into silence. I pulled Lily from Willow Creek that morning. No paperwork, no debate. By noon, we toured Elmwood Elementary, a cozy school by the town park. Principal Martinez greeted us, her cardigan soft, her smile warm. She knelt to Lily. Hi, sweetie. Want to see your classroom? We've got a quiet nook with cushions. Lily hid behind me, but peeked out when Martinez mentioned chimes, not bells. In room 12, Ms. Harper, with a daisy lanyard, showed Lily her desk by a window. I'll be here at 3, I promised. That afternoon, Lily ran to me, beaming. I dropped my markers, and nobody yelled. Ms. Harper helped, and 2 kids did too. The DA called next day. Lily's case opened a floodgate. Parents are reporting. We're charging Margaret with multiple felonies: assault, intimidation, civil rights violations. Margaret got 3 years, served 18 months, and was banned from schools. Last I heard, she scans barcodes in a warehouse, no kids to bully. But justice wasn't just her sentence. It was Lily healing. At first, she flinched at loud voices, spoke softly, avoided attention. Then, during a fire drill, Elmwood's chimes turned to alarms. Lily froze, hands over ears. Ms. Harper knelt, whispering, Just practice, honey. You're safe. Lily cried, but in safe arms. She began to bloom, talking to shy kids, sharing snacks. 3 months later, Elmwood's counselor called. Lily started a friendship club. They write notes to janitors, welcome new kids. She wants to tell her class about Margaret, to help others speak up. At the school board, Lily, tiny behind a podium, said, Every school needs someone who listens to scared kids. Her idea became policy. Elmwood added student advocates, trained to hear kids' fears. By 4th grade, Lily was student council president, debating, pairing older kids with lonely ones. I want to be who I needed when I was scared, she told me. At the district's Safe Schools launch, 10-year-old Lily spoke last. When I was 7, a principal hurt me. She said I didn't belong. I told my dad, and he believed me. Now I'm here to make sure no kid feels alone. The crowd stood, clapping. A teacher whispered, She'll change everything. That night, Lily asked, Does Margaret regret it? I paused. Doesn't matter. You're not her victim. You're stronger. She smiled, and I saw true justice. Not cuffs, but Lily, free, leading, healing. No child should face what Lily did. No 7-year-old should be slapped for a spill, told they don't belong, or silenced by fear. But when life hands you that moment, you choose, stay quiet or stand tall. I stood for Lily, for every kid who flinches at bells, who's too scared to speak. Justice isn't just punishment, it's protection, a world where kids can mess up and still feel safe. Lily turned pain into purpose, fear into kindness, silence into a voice that lifts others. That's the victory, not Margaret's fall, but Lily's rise. What do you think? Should a parent fight like I did? Or is there another way to face injustice? Comment below, share your stance on violence, fairness, and protecting kids. Let's hear your voice.